everybody. Hello, Diaspora, North America. Good morning. Salongo Chigund here. As always, it is a weekend day, beautiful Saturday. The sun is out. How are we? How was the week? Hope everything went well for you this week. I am here this Saturday having a conversation with Patrick Ogwang of Aspire To Be More. You know, this was supposed to happen in the middle of the week, and I had titled it Midweek Talk because we are looking at issues happening in our community, and I thought it was time for me to have Patrick back here because the last time I had him here, we were going into Cincinnati, and a lot has transpired since then. In terms of that leadership contest, and I wanted to hear his thoughts as what happened. How did he see? Did things play out the way he thought they were going to be? Because when I had him here, he was trying to get into the analysis, detailed analysis, and I was hesitant because as that was the immediate post conversation from post-debate conversation that we had, and this platform, Tukikube, as having been the host, I was hesitant to have the same platform get into the analysis. Did the so and so win? The other person didn't win. No, I was my view, and I still hold on to it. I think it was let the other platforms, the other observers, the other followers do that, but not here on this platform. But today, now that that is behind us, I think, Patrick, you're free to get into any of that if you wanted to start from there and then lead us into what you saw happen in Ohio and then into the UNAA Council and the results that we have. But before I open the floor, let me first allow you again to introduce yourself for those who do not know who you are. Patrick Ogwang, please take it away.
Hey, thank you very much, Salongo, for the work that you do and continue to do for the community. It's always a pleasure and honor. We need this service in our community. Again, my name is Patrick Ogwang, and I'm based out here in Dallas, Texas. And I have a passion for business, social entrepreneurship, and right now we're currently pushing a product on online, Makasi juice, and trying to leverage and use that to financially empower more people in the diaspora, taking that model. But I'm a father with children, and I've been in this country 21 years, and a community leader. Been a two-time vice president and president for the DFW community. And I was also temporarily, about 6 months, director of development for UNAA, where we initially started that soccer initiative back in 2019 in Chicago. I have a passion for not only, I believe that we're all engineered to do great things. I believe that we all have something very unique in us. I believe that that we can, when we leverage on that is placed in within us, that we can truly pull ourselves up and improve our livelihoods, not only in the diaspora, but also back home. That's a little bit about me. And to turn the page to your question, Salongo, going back
Yes.
ahead of the UNAA campaigns, which were very heated, such a very a display of democracy, I would say. It was a very heated campaign based on issues and personalities. Of course, couldn't avoid that. And I think what transpired this time around was very historic in a way that we were able to host online debates, and thanks to you and I believe the gentleman from Seattle for hosting the debates ahead of the UNAA convention. Usually the UNAA convention are so packed, you don't have the time to you don't have the time to get into issues the way you should. So I think we're going to see this trend happen in the future, where we have the debates online, and then we go into the UNAA conventions to vote, right? I think that was good. I think the moderators you had on were great. They did a great job in really trying to define the issues of the candidates. And to be honest with you, I think UNAA won in Cincinnati. I think it was a great thing, despite a few issues that we had. But like the system will always have a few issues that we can correct, as long as we are committed to the process. Is really what we want to look at. And looking at where we are, the UNAA electoral process itself has been was phenomenal, from a registration entry point to that whole election process where you are moved from one table to another. You know, it was very beautifully done by the electoral commission. So that's some of the what I observed in the election process.
Okay, so those are the two. All right, but yeah, before I mean, did things play out the way you thought? I mean, I know you said that at the end of the debate that you walked away having made sort of made your decisions based on what you saw in the debate. Do you think the public saw it the way you saw it at that time? I mean, based on the outcome, you're saying UNAA won, but now I'm interested in what you think. Did the voters view it the way you did, particularly what you saw in the debate?
Yeah, I think most of it played out exactly how I pictured it would play out. Number one, it is very hard to beat an incumbent president, for one, on the top ticket. It's very hard to do that because they are already in the system. They understand the operations of it. And even coming in as vice president, Miss Lydia Natolo, she could have, she did well. She did very well, actually, matter of fact. You can't knock that down. She did very well. But still, I think many voters went in the direction of voting for who was safer for UNAA. And I think looking at the events that had happened, Nairuba, having been there for several years in the organization, understanding the processes and the systems, was a more stable candidate for the position. And I think it reflected that during the votes, despite a few discrepancies that I believe individuals are trying to raise. I think, generally speaking, she was the better candidate, and yeah, in the office of president. Okay,
office of the president. What about the executive secretary?
Yes, the executive secretary.
Same deal there, right? The incumbent is
absolutely. Lambert has done a great job. Again, over time, he understands the processes. He knows. Basically, he's been engaged with the electorate over the a few years. Yeah, he's been around UNAA for a long time, so he understands that more than someone coming from the outside. So, like I said, it's always hard to beat someone who's already within the system coming from the outside.
Right. And the vice presidency, that was hard to contest. That was a real one to watch.
I tell you what, the vice president race was probably the best this year for me. Watching that display of Albert Bakasara from Maryland area, and having Michael Mpima Mugambe from Seattle, and John Bavuga, the guy from the hills of Kisoro. I think she had an added advantage because of the location of the convention. It was in her hometown, It was for her to lose, and she did a great job to deliver those votes in. But all candidates were exceptional. All candidates were really good. They could hold their own, and I really liked Michael Mpima's presentation. I think he was spot on, especially when it came to issues of social contribution and how we can impact our communities. I think he has the model, he has the system in place, he knows exactly what to do. He's a subject matter expert when it comes to bringing our communities together. And I believe that Joan, with the character that she has and the personality that she has, she will reach out to Michael, and I'm sure they'll work together to bring true value to our organization.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I was going to ask you next, because I'm like, I saw them, irrespective of the contests and all that energy. This was a contestation of ideas and a competition, but they still momentarily could put that aside and pose for a picture, talk to each other, So it was beautiful to watch, and I think it is a new thing in UNAA politics, right? It also plays into what happened after the leadership in the council was formed, right? I saw a letter from the president saying she received a call from Mr. Speaker, right?
Yes.
I know we haven't gotten to that, but so those are the things that I'd like to see going forward in UNAA, because we have to be able to get into the democratic process and also put that behind us and unite and do things and deliver for our community, right? So when you say you would like to see Joan Bavuga reach out and find a way of working with those who are competing with her, particularly you brought up Mpima, and all of the others had very beautiful ideas, and they could be very helpful to her, because this is an enormous job, reaching out to the communities and bringing people back into UNAA, because for us to have only 2,000, less than 2,000 members sometimes on the roll, on the membership rolls, I think that's still a weakness on our part. But let's go to the UNAA Council.
Yes.
What happened there? Looks like the decisions were made. It was a very one of the contests was a cliffhanger, right? One vote, right?
Yes.
That was a close call there, but I congratulate the winners, right?
Yes.
What is your take on how that it transpired and what emerged out of there?
Let me add a little bit to your point earlier, that we now need to transition from election mode into the governance mode, right? So we need to really close the chapter of elections and transition into governance. And now that is the leaders who are in authority right now to reach out and source for that human capital that can help us grow our community. So that's a major point.
Absolutely. They have to consciously.
Correct. They have to
consciously reach out and bring everybody in.
Correct, and bring everybody in and utilize that human capital. And I think it will be a great thing for UNAA generally going forward. Now, in regards to the council, I think the council this time around is constituted with a brilliant team. Last time it was too. I won't say not, but I think this time around they have something good going. I mean, they got Michael as the speaker, and I think Michael, with his experience over the past couple years, will do a good job navigating that. He understands the need to work together. He has been in a situation where they've had where there've been a few conflicts between the executive and the council. So he needs to this time he has been there, and my hope is that he will use wisdom to be able to navigate and move the organization forward and get past the ideas of I'm team this, I'm team that. I think one of the let me mention this. One of the great moves that the president did was to abandon, to demolish the team action immediately she took office. I think that's a powerful move because she was showing that, hey, I'm willing to work with anybody, right? The idea of teams creates nucleuses that can split the organization going forward. And that has been UNA's biggest problem over the years. If we look at the UNA causes, if we look at a few other segments that have lost elections and have ended up peeling off, right? To form smaller organizations that never ever make it, right? They never make it because UNA is a 33-year-old organization with a brand that is unshakable, you know, and we continue to dominate that. And not only for Uganda, but for the whole entire diaspora. It's probably the oldest diaspora organization, hands down. And we continue to dominate that. And of course, we have areas of improvement, just like anywhere else, any other organization does. But let's see how the council, let's see how Mike does his work. Let's see if he's able to reach out and put aside the issues of teams and work with the executive to deliver the members true value, you know, as membership. At the time you're saying right now, the membership is going down. We need to engage everybody. We need to get them back into UNA and align them to the vision of this great organization, and we can put it in a place to where we can pass it on to these little ones, these young ones. The time comes that, you know, they continue to grow it, and this is what we have done for the past 33 years. You know, it has been established. So some of us really buy into that. We buy into the contribution for the organization. We fight for the organization. We've seen good and bad leaders. We've seen bad and good leaders come and go, you know, and that happens all the time. But UNA continues to stay. It continues to take its path and grow and evolve and become better. So the leaders right now have quite a bit on their plates to be able to cast that vision and finish strong.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. Now, former communications director, Julius Kabugu, I was talking to him on site at the convention there.
Yes.
And he was like, there's a lot more we could do as an organization, right? Forming relationships and healing from these contests is one thing that he brought up that we need to see happen. But we also talked about the price of membership. And his major point is like, we cannot expect so much from an organization that we don't fund adequately. So he really made a point about growing UNA's purse, in South Chigaziyeko. And part of it, if we want the organization to serve us, we should be willing to invest in it. And his view is that it's time to increase membership. Yes. Right, the price of membership. Membership right now it's at $50 and $25 to renew. We need to bump that up north.
Yes.
You know, maybe 100 or something. But generally, we need to, you know, bring that up to the times. Yes. Also, the cost of attending the convention. If you look nationally, it's way higher than the $240 that for example, it cost us to attend the most recent convention. So, what are your thoughts about that aspect, the money aspect of it? How much, you know, how do we free ourselves from maybe a single donor and us putting in more and maybe grow the basket of sources of funding?
Very good point. Kabugu is a great man. And with a subject matter expert at that, with experience in running organizations. His opinions are way heavy. I think I've always been a proponent of creating a two system, introducing what should I call it? A dual system, right? Where we have, there's a word I'm looking for, it skipped out of my mind, but a component, a financial component. You see, we have the trade and investment platform, which we've grown over the years. Moses Wilson has done a great job with that. over time.
Yeah.
And we've had discussions about this. But a lot of business has been done there. A lot of relationships and have been done during the trade and investment, which creates value on that point. But not a lot of credit is given back to the organization, right? So how does the organization capture that, right, and bring it back, right? So how do we create a financial aspect, a financial part of the organization that can drive it? I think that is very possible. Besides collecting membership, I think we need to create value within the organization that gives members an opportunity to invest in it, right? And it will grow numbers to bring a lot. It will attract more people into the organization, and I think that needs to be separate from the office of president and secretary, the everyday running of the organization. We need to have a powerful financial branch. How we structure that, I have an idea of how to do it, but we're going to need some technical. We have to get technical with it, and also make sure that we're abiding by the laws, right? Since we're non-profit, how do we, we need to bring in the financial aspect in a way that it doesn't interrupt with the non-profit piece of it, but adds value to it. So I am a proponent of that, and I think we need to bring more kids back into the conventions. We've noticed over the years that there are not a lot of children that are coming into the conventions, and I think that's also got to do with the way that we're organizing these events, right? What about having a convention at with a at a park, right? A theme park. One of those big Disney or wherever it is, do something different to where it brings us together now, children and family, because these children, the absence of them at our conventions, if they are truly the future, the absence of them at our conventions is proof of what our future looks like, is evidence of what our future looks like. So we need to incorporate them into that. So I want to see something different, right? Something a little bit different to at least bring those kids in, and I think that will drive up numbers as an organization. But we need to continue to create value. And by the way, trade and investment, not the trade and investment, but the vendor tables, we're doing very good at that. We could probably figure out how we can improve on it, a little bit better. But so far, that has been working good for UNAA. So yeah, good stuff.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. So banking in Uganda.
Yes.
Some news comes up and throws everybody into a tailspin, and everybody's worried, our money, this and that. And thanks to UNAA again, for reaching out onto Kampala side and gotten the permanent secretary, the supervisor banking in the central bank, and one of the leaders of one of the commercial banks, they came and blew all the conspiracies away, right? Well, I think it goes to show the importance of us having an organization like this. First of all, you could make a phone call and those guys realized we gotta go and talk to the people.
Correct.
But the misinformation, it's one of the speakers talked about how we think we're concerned about our money and our country, but we may hurt our country by talking irresponsibly about some of these things, because he said that the money that we send in has, throughout the pandemic period, supported the macroeconomic picture over there, such that they were able to maintain stable currencies, inflation, and all of that, that a false rumor like that could trigger negative effects on our economy. And I don't know that people think about that, but I wanted to ask you, because I think I saw your response after that presentation by those government officials, that we need, if I remember to quote you, you said we need to debunk That's what you said. I think we need to debunk those narratives that hurt us. Do you want to tell me a little bit more about what you are thinking there?
It's a fact. Negative news travels faster than positive news. Fear travels faster than positive news. And those who capitalize on it, can damage a lot. They can do a lot of damage on it. Positive news travels a little bit slower, right? What the president did to put together that team to answer the questions in diaspora was, first of all, it was a leadership move that she saw a problem and she acted quickly to cut that off, right? Which is very, very important. And again, to iterate your point, that's where we as UNAA, as the organization, comes in to fill those gaps. But also, we give credit to those leaders in Uganda who woke up that late at night to come and be a part of it. There's always this perception that we have that people in Uganda are lazy, everybody's this, and it's because of the narrative that has been spread around, right? So a lot of people have political agendas, and I want to be very clear about this. A lot of people have political agendas and political biasness, right? They cannot separate their politics from the nation, Uganda. They have failed to separate their politics from the nation of Uganda and the true value that comes in it. It undermines the hard work that civil servants do. My father worked for Ministry of Agriculture for over 35 years of his life, and as a civil servant, and he passed away as a commissioner for Ministry of Agriculture. He never missed a day of work. He worked every day to bring value to the people of Uganda. He led the agriculture development project in Eastern Uganda. Till today, they are appreciative of that. Till today, he was able to channel millions of dollars in agriculture in Eastern Uganda, and not even a penny went missing. I have to say that because it's just, I want people to understand that there are still good people within the system. And there are those who have political agendas that will drive narratives, take one thing and blow it out of proportion, and it's not factual, and it costs us as an organization. Plus, I took a course on personal branding, a couple of years ago. So I understand the value of a brand. I understand the value of protecting the UNAA brand. I understand the value of protecting the Uganda brand. Right. It is very, very important. We as Ugandans, I was writing somewhere, I said, we might have not chosen to be Ugandan, but Uganda chose us. And so we have a responsibility as Ugandans to lift that flag up high in whatever we do, whatever we say, not because we are trying to, to have maybe a political agenda or, whatever intention. And yes, we have issues. There's no doubt about it. We have issues. But I've learned over the years that solving issues is not, there are different ways to solve issues. And one of the most effective ways to solve issues is to become a solution to those issues, to offer the services that you can offer as an individual to solve that problem. So I think we as Ugandans, as we need to look deep down inside ourselves and ask ourselves, what is our social contribution? And we need to work together in able to attain that. The negativity, you destroying your own brand is like, crashing your own house. I mean, you don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't
Absolutely.
do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Adam, thank you very much. Beautiful. Very well put. Very well put. We should be our own ambassadors.
Correct.
We shouldn't be tarnishing our own brand unnecessarily just because of some other nefarious intent. So here's the thing. I did find a clip here, and I wanted to just use the opportunity to play it back because I think this guy put it very well.
So I think that's it really. The issue at hand, which was mostly about the scare that was created, I think there's nothing really to add from what the previous speakers have so eloquently explained and clarified. I could go over it because this is what we do. And Jim, just to clarify, yes, we are private sector, but we operate under laws of government set by. So really everything we do is in line with what Twine has laid out there. So I think that the fear should not be there at all, because this is the same law we've operated under for all this time. And contact information, just update, reach out to your bank. I think that relationship is important so that you're up to date. Thank you.
You heard what he said there. The fear should not be there at all. He is an official from one of the commercial banks. He says the law, the same law that they have been operating under, the fear should not be there at all. And these guys laid out a process, right, of what happens with the accounts, what determines when the account goes into dormancy, and what is the process there. I also found a clip from the supervisor of the banking division supervisor as a function of the central bank. Let's hear it as well.
Madam President. Yeah, we had a bit of a freeze at one point, but I think we got the point. Madam President, with your permission, if we could ask the regulator, Dr. Trino, to speak to that in addition to what the PS has said. But also, I would request that he deals with your question you raised earlier, whether government and Bank of Uganda really considers you people who contribute a lot of resources and repatriate them to Uganda as they make laws. I think those two would be issues that he can ably address.
Thank you so much, Mr. Magunga. And we invite Dr. Twine Manzi to the floor to come and add on to Dr. Goby's remarks, clarify a couple of few things, and also on the question that I posed as Mr. Magunga just mentioned. Dr. Twine, I think you're mute. You're welcome to the floor.
Thank you, Henrietta. Thank you, Jim, and thank you, Dr. Goby. I'll also start by reiterating what Dr. Goby has said, that the existing regulatory and supervisory regime for financial institutions, it has got one central objective, and that is the protection of depositors. And not just protection of depositors' money, but even protection of depositors. So in the first case, something which Jim has talked about lightly, and this is just for the information of all those who are listening. They could go online to the Bank of Uganda website and look up these various laws and read them for themselves. Section 119 of the Financial Institutions Act of 2004, as Jim had kindly touched on a bit, and we'll also there'll be more detail in the Minister and the Governor's statement tomorrow. 2 years of inactivity or on an account, or 2 years after a fixed deposit matures, is when an account is classified as dormant. Now, this is the meaning of dormant. It means that there has been no deposit or no withdrawal except for bank charges. So I want all the members who are listening, just think about it for a minute. That for 2 years, there is no money coming in, no money leaving, with the exception of the bank charges for account maintenance. When those 2 years expire, this is for financial, for banks, tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. And for those living in North America, I'll try and give you a similar category.
There. So he went on and on, but I wanted to capture that. Dormancy. This was the issue that everybody got scared about. What determines that an account is dormant? Not a single transaction. Deposit or withdraw, even 1,000 shillings, 2,000, 5,000 for 2 years. That is the only reason one's account would be classified as dormant. For us here in the diaspora, I think that is something that we can easily avoid, right? There's so many tools, these ways you could send money. All you need to do is deposit 5,000 shillings into your account. That's it for 2 years. It will never be classified as dormant. That was it, right? That was the worry. And before that, he also made another point, which was that the law is intended to protect the depositor primarily, right?
Correct.
Because banks are always making charges for maintaining your account. If you left the account dormant for 10 years without doing anything with it, banks will continue to take charges away for maintaining your account. The law requires them to stop doing that once the dormancy is triggered. 2 years, stop charging this person money. Put the account somewhere. That is a protection too, because if you find yourself not able to do, somehow can't reach your bank, or somebody passes away, and maybe the estate is still figuring out how to sort things out, that at least protects the account from any other activity, including commercial banks continuing to levy charges and all of that. That was the issue, dormancy. I think that was put to rest. Nobody should really worry about it anymore, in my view.
Correct. And I think for business people and people who look for opportunities to solve problems, I think when you look at this, it created an opportunity for better online banking opportunities for the diaspora. I think if the banks will probably be able to capitalize on that and create an online banking system where the diaspora is able to access their accounts a lot easier, right? I think that's the direction it pushes us, because the worry is that you leave your account back home and you can't really access it from here. So that gap for us in the diaspora needs to be bridged. And that's a business opportunity for somebody. Whoever does it is going to make a lot of money.
There you have it. All right. Well, to those who are joining us, we are here with Patrick Ogwang. We're talking about things that transpired during the week. The news, we're supposed to do it in the middle of the week, but other things came up, and here we are talking about these issues on a Saturday morning. Before I let you go, Patrick, I thank you very much again for doing this with me, for your views, for helping my followers, our viewers digest these things. Yes. I have to show you this, and then, right? Yeah. Congratulations on that. That was a good piece of the convention.
Yes.
Thank you, and your partners are with you and others for pushing this through. It last happened in 2009 here in Chicago.
Yes.
So for this to have successfully happened again, it was a great thing. And I talked to one of the young men, and I thank those who mobilized them. The one that I spoke to particularly was from the East Coast, from the Boston area, and he said, if it was not for this soccer program, I wasn't going to come to Cincinnati, right? So the UNAA president said mobilizing the youth is going to be a very important piece of the coming 2 years that she leads. That's what we have. What do we do to our programs that will attract the youth, right? Because without them, we cannot move this organization forward. So thank you guys for doing that. And what else should we expect? Makasi was the brand there on display.
Yeah.
What's going on there? It looks like I hear about launches in California and this and that.
Yes, let me add that we go back to 2019, and I'll be brief on it, is when the whole creation of Aspire to Be More, a campaign that turned into a company, to now leverage on the human capital that we had put together to distribute Makasi juice within the communities. So we have literally the leaders that bought into the vision becoming business leaders now within their communities. In Southern California, you have Susan Kwizera there. In Northern California, you have Noah, and that's who we're going for the boat cruise launch. We're flying in Eddie Kenzo and we're going to celebrate together. And on Sunday, we'll have a business talk and to see how we can financially empower ourselves in the diaspora. I believe that that's the solution to most of our challenges. Now, here in the diaspora, it's usually money. It's usually, even back home, it's usually money. It's the lack of needs. And so if we can, right? And we are able to do this. So very important. And we are still opening up opportunities for more people in Makasi who want to be partners to come on. They can reach out to me, and we can get them out there. We could have been in Boston this weekend, matter of fact, too, but it was late and we don't have representation out there. So next time we definitely get a leader out there to distribute the product on the ground over there. Back to soccer. Soccer, San Francisco, we are preparing for that. UNAA 2022 in San Francisco is going to be wonderful. We're going to be more organized. We're going to have, it's going to be huge. We're going to be very more deliberate, and we'll make sure that we deliver that tournament to the standards that it should be. This is something that brings us together. You know, it is our culture. It is soccer is embedded in us as Ugandans. We grew up playing tango. We grew up playing that. So if we can bring it back here, it brings us together. We work together, and we can create value out of that, right? We can literally create value, and as a result, UNAA will benefit. As a UNAA, to be a great thing for UNAA, and we continue to do that and grow again. Back to the point of growing numbers that Kabugu was talking about. These are some of the programs that we need to make sure that we back up to see the fruition of it. In the future. But thank you very much. And before you get me off, if you allow me to really express my sincere condolences to former President Moses Wilson, who just lost his mom. On a sad note, we pray for him, and may we stand with him and give him the support that he needs. He has dedicated so many of his years, his life, and pushing this organization. Is one of those that could have been doing anything else, but continues to love his country and to love UNAA and to offer himself to serve. So we pray with him. We pray for him and the family during this tough time. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. And even I join you in expressing my condolences, deep console to former President Moses Wilson. He's one of those, agree with him or not, he continues to be around as a former leader and actively lend his support and experience and programming for UNAA. But it's critical element, continuity of the leadership. When leaders come and then when they go and they no longer actively participate or support in the organization, we lose on that. I think the way we're structured is that the immediate past president is supposed to, or has an opportunity to participate on the executive as an ex-official. That I think was part of the design to allow for that continuity, right? So that things don't drop and then it's like after an election we'll start all over again. So for Moses to continue doing that is a great thing, and I think all other former leaders of this organization ought to emulate and copy from that and do that. Right. You don't have to agree with whoever was elected in office or whatever, but just once that is over, the contests are over, go back to the interests of the organization, the strategic interests of the organization, and support that, irrespective of who is in office. And also those, and we need leaders, not just those in executive positions, but in other spheres. Look at what you guys and which you did. So one doesn't have to be in an office to support this organization, right? So, but this is a conversation that will never end. We may go on and on. I don't want to keep you for so long, but thank you very much for coming on here real quick and helping me digest some of these things, right? Good, wishing you a good weekend down there in Texas. Yes.
Independence is coming up.
Yes.
This year is unique. Independence Day landed on a Saturday.
Yes, I know.
So it rarely happens, because
It
most
rarely
of the time
happens.
comes in the middle of the week, and some people, wonder what should we do. They either end up putting it off, not do anything. But it looks like across the North America, communities are going to be holding Independence Day celebrations. But what should we now? Do you have any thought? What should we think about as we think about independence this year, with everything that has been happening put into consideration?
Yes. I think the theme is, how have we evolved as a community? What have we become in this new reality? How are we, different aspects, how are we running business? How are we leading amidst this crisis? And this crisis has really given us an opportunity to display new ways of leadership. And I would say one of the ways that is in play is this right here. The ability for us now to go online and have discussions and to connect better online, that was kind of not as not as sought after
Easy.
and now it's really done that. So I think all things work for good. I think in every it is I don't remember who it is that says that in life there'll be a series of God ordained Charles Udo. In life, there'll be a series of God-ordained opportunities that are brilliantly disguised as problems and obstacles, but they're God-ordained opportunities for you to now create and find solutions to the problems that are in there. So I think as an organization, just look at Makasi. We're ordering food and juice online. That was not there before.
No.
How could you order food online? How do you order that? Now we have transitioned in that, and us being able to capture that and know that this is the new direction that we're taking. I think we have to become more aware to make sure that we are capitalizing on all the opportunities that have opened up during with the COVID movement. So let Ugandans think about their country and really offer, really evaluate and offer themselves. Inside everybody, there's a leader. I want to leave this. Inside everybody is a leader, because leadership is about purpose, finding your purpose in life, right? It's about being principled about this purpose and having true interest in people. And to piggyback on what you said back there on Moses Wilson, is a reflection of true leadership, that leadership does not require you to have a position. It just requires you to serve the people regardless of where you are. And I hope this helps those who lost the election to heal, the healing process. I understand it takes time, but the quicker we realize that we have more to give, than to suck, then the quicker we heal. And I can see Michael Mpima already made that move. He's going to host the Uganda Independence Summit, which is happening on October 9th, and is bringing together leaders and businesses. I'll be a part of that. I'll be hosting the business program on that. So if you're watching, please tune in and support. We're going to be dissecting some of the possibilities that we have as a diaspora and what we can do to financially empower ourselves in the diaspora. So let's capitalize on that. Let's put our country first. Let's continue to offer ourselves as a solution to the problems that we face as a nation, as a people. We are all one people, all bleed the same blood, all of us, same color blood. We are one. And what unites us is love above all.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And on that note, we can't go beyond that. I like how you summarize things. Thank you very much. And that's it for today, right? Have a good day down there in Texas, and we'll see you in these events, the Virtual Summit too, and everything else, right?
Enjoy your weekend.
Enjoy your weekend. Thank you very much.